yourself to do because the second half of initiative is all DM. But the battlefield has changed slightly.
That's one
We
way.
are now at the top of initiative with Mia Theta.
Yeah, give me a second to open up my my sheet.
Understandable.
I think I am dead.
I think you are dying, not dead. There's an important distinction. You can still fight while you're dying.
Oh, okay. Kakashi bleeding out, firing as he falls.
Once you hit the 0 wounds part and go into dying, any damage that gets through causes critical effects. And it uses the full D10 instead of the D5 of Righteous Fury. So there are things where you just die. But there's no guarantee that you die unless you get to, like, I think it's negative double your toughness bonus.
Oh, dang.
Sorry, Slith, I got all my stuff open. It'll just be a moment.
Droid ain't even online yet.
This one.
The only one we're missing is our psyker.
Oh,
Yeah, and the Skitari.
Psyker, so he don't care. I hope I live through this encounter. Because I finally got Gasha the way I like it.
he's not dead yet.
This definitely isn't right. Sharp hands weapons. Oh, Warhammer Fantasy. That's why.
All right.
This is what I was looking for.
Sleuth,
Yes.
the war boss.
The war boss is prone. And his leg is a mangled stump after a crack grenade crit him. But, or not crack grenade, a crack hunting lance. But he is 40 meters away.
All right. Overcharged. Automatic. Maximal.
All right.
I'm using weapon tech. Plasma expert. I'm dumping the plasma on him.
Oh, and I don't remember if we actually remembered to do it last week, but after you use the maximal setting, the gun does get the recharge property, so it's supposed to take the next round to cool down.
No, that would have been enough time then from the last time I used all these features, so should probably be good then.
Yeah, and you do have another gun if I remember right. I don't think it's another plasma gun, but all right, Gilbert, go ahead. You get
Aiming.
what is his size?
Full action aim.
Have I been doing this wrong? No, you get a plus 40 from his size, plus 20 from his from your aim. I believe the commissar got his inspiration off.
And then from the range, I get another 10. So I got to roll below 120.
Yes. Are you single fire or burst fire?
Burst.
Okay.
Which at this range, I don't believe gives me any malices.
Burst fire just doesn't give you the plus 10 from your single fire.
In that case, I'm merely at. I need to roll below 110, or yeah, 110.
Yeah. Burst fire is no bonus, no penalty. Full auto is a -10. Single shot is a +10. Yeah, that is your rate of fire and hits.
Is that a crit?
Crit would be a 10 on the damage.
Okay. All right. So my rate of fire is -S-2-0.
What's -S?
I just copy pasted. I
Uh,
think that's
so,
their way of just indicating that the part's blank.
yeah, but S should be the first one for single fire. Your burst fire rate is 2. So roll your damage twice.
Sorry, I'm here. What happened?
All right.
Gilbert is shooting the shit out of this guy with his plasma.
As he does.
Let's roll damage twice. And then int mob.
So, weapons.
And then it's got extra pen. So all of this is pen 13,
Uh-huh.
as I recall.
Uh, 19 and 16, pen 13. That is a lot of damage.
Do I hit him in the head or something?
Let's see, 80 for his hit location. So hit location is determined by just reversing the hit roll. So you got an 8, hit location would be 80. 80 is right leg. And then you didn't get any 10s on the damage dice, so there's no critical effect. But that is still a lot of damage. And this guy is not looking good.
That's a lot of damage.
All right. I've done my due Mechanicum mandated diligence. Praise the Omnissiah.
All right. That brings us to Gutcash's turn.
Good gosh. Since I can't fall over because I'm in battle armor, I will continue to fire at mobs of goblins or orcs or whatever I'm killing. I think I'm orcs.
They are orcs. There's 2 really big guys in point blank range, a pretty big guy kind of far out in short range, and then there's the war
Can I
boss
hit
behind
the 2
him.
guys
Also,
in point blank range?
you
Maybe
can.
one of them. Maybe we'll see.
If you get more than 1 hit, you can hit both of them. So point blank is a +30. I assume you're staying on burst fire, so that's no penalty, no bonus. You can half action aim for another +10. Commissar's inspiration from last round is another +10. Comrade can half action aim for another +5, so that's a total of 55 bonus. Uh-huh. All right. This guy is going to try to dodge, but he doesn't. Go ahead and roll your damage and tell me how you'd like to split the fire. You get your 3 shots. So you can put all.
Is the guy?
What was that?
Is the big guy injured that tried to dodge, or is he fresh?
They're both. Which health bar was it? They're both mildly wounded.
Mildly wounded.
Yeah, they've taken a few stray shots from the Fleetians behind you.
Okay, so I need to shoot the guy. Many.
Actually, one of them, I was looking at the wrong one. One of them is pretty hurt because his hand has been blown off.
Okay.
The other's only moderately wounded.
Let's see, 3D. Where's my weapon? Okay, there it is.
And how are you splitting that? Are you putting all those into the kind of hurt guy or the pretty hurt guy? Or are you splitting them between the two?
I think I'll put two of them into the really hurt guy and the last one into the hurt guy. The other guy.
Two into the really hurt guy, one into the kind of hurt guy. Right. That does kill the pretty hurt guy, or the really hurt guy. The pretty hurt guy is still fine-ish.
Okay.
He's an orc. He's fine. He's having the time of his life.
All right, that's and I believe that's all Gagash has got.
All right. Where did I put? Gagasha is DM8, which is this guy who's going to try and just crush the Kriegsman in front of him.
Ba, 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 ba.
Numbers. Yes, this big orc just punches this Kriegsman in the head. He doesn't die, but he is definitely concussed. Commissar, that brings us to you.
Aren't I still stunned?
I believe that is passed.
Ah. Well, then I shall be doing the inspiring of the people. Now I'm at like 22 out of 12 wounds.
I
believe you said there was like a negative 10 to all my checks as a result of stuff that's happened.
do you have any fatigue?
Yeah, I have 4 points fatigue.
Yeah, any amount of fatigue will have a -10 to all your
Okay. But I'm still inspiring.
Of course you are. You're always inspiring. You're the commissar.
Mm-hmm. And then I've still got the bolt gun. So I guess I'm gonna put a yeah, I'm gonna just the range is that, so be it. I'll put a single shot into the war boss.
Just the one.
Yeah, my vision's still swimming. I'm not the best of shots. I need the bonus 10 to offset the fatigue 10.
Ridiculous. You're the commissar. You're the very model of what every guardsman should be.
Yeah, and that means knowing when to, aim your shots a little better. The range is 36 out of 100. Do I get a plus 10 or plus what for that?
Below half is a plus 10. 10% or below is point blank for It's brought up from the normal 3 meters, I think, across the board.
Oh, hey, I hit him.
All right, go ahead and roll your damage.
That is pen 4.
11 pen 4. Ooh. That does not kill him. Is actually close though, because his legs don't have any armor anymore.
That is all.
All right. I will have to clean this up again because I've lost where it was supposed to be, but we got this guy is hmm. This guy's just gonna charge. Let's see. Right there. Then 925 War Boss is stunned. A whole bunch of boys. All right. This is where it's probably going to get real messy for everyone inside of the Chimera. Because the Chimera is in charge range and they're going to try and board. It's going to put this change from the back. Let's see. Those 3 are going to get melee attacks on the Commissar and the Commander's Hatch. And Commissar, you can try to dodge or parry, as one of them is able to get a swing at you.
I think I'll parry.
All right, good choice.
How does that work? I don't recall.
You roll your parry skill, and then if you have any bonuses to weapon skill from weapon craftsmanship, you add those.
Okay. So can I actually parry with my good quality chain sword? Or am I parrying with the bolt gun?
You would be parrying with your chain sword.
Okay.
It does require a melee weapon.
Right, but I was just shooting with the bolt gun, so I just wanted to make sure I was allowed to switch. I'm not caught there with my gun out.
I think normally you're supposed to switch beforehand, but the orcs are 12 meters away. You have enough time to one-hand your bolt hand and draw your sword.
Okay.
Also, you can technically still fire the bolt gun in one hand, but I think you get a -20 if it's not a pistol, and the carbines bring it down to a -10.
Okay, and does balanced do anything?
That I am double checking. Balanced.
I'm sure it does.
Balance gives a +10 to weapon skill test made to parry.
Excellent.
And then I think good craftsmanship gives another 5 to all weapon skill tests.
Yeah. And then -10 because I'm fatigued.
Yeah.
Nope. I think I'm going to use my fate point.
All right. Probably a good choice.
Nope.
Luckily, they are disgusting greenskins, and therefore they don't have the most refined weapons, but this might hurt. 8 pen 2. Does that even get through your armor?
No, I have 9 armor. And a toughness
1
of
point.
33.
Oh, never mind.
Is the 9 armor with your toughness bonus?
Oh, that's right.
Or
That
is that
includes
set?
a toughness bonus, I think. 'Cause it's just the storm carapace.
Right. So it'd be a 6 plus your toughness of 3 would be 9.
Right. Okay.
But you do have the refractor field.
No, that shorted out last time from the barrage of fire I took.
Ah.
It
All right.
overloaded.
So you take a point of damage.
Yep. Bringing me to 23 out of 12.
Which means that's a critical. Ooh. What does critical impact to... What did he roll? 62 is, I think, body. Yeah. Critical impact body for 10. Oh. Yeah, that is... Hmm.
Huh. Well, so it goes.
Huh. Okay. That is pretty painful.
Mm-hmm. Well, not really.
So the thing about Only War, on a fatal blow, you can burn a fate point, so you reduce your maximum by 1 permanently,
Okay.
and you will survive a fatal wound. So you'll be alive, basically out of the fight, and you'll be down 1 of your permanent fate points.
So I would lose the 1 fate point I have.
Yes, but spoilers, you're getting a +1 fate point for completing the side objective anyways.
Alright. Well, I mean, no fate's better than being dead, so yeah, I guess I'll burn the fate point.
Alright. If you want to stay conscious, I will let you, but you will still be a valid target going forward in the fight.
Okay. Yeah, I'm staying conscious.
Alright. Wonderful. And the orcs are going to be piling in. And it's gonna be a while, so let's see. Who's next in the initiative? More orcs. A whole lot of orcs. These guys are gonna be moving. And one is dead. All right, and there is a loud rumbling sound, and your vox crackles to life again, and you would recognize the voice of your regiment's commissar, or not commissar, colonel. Wrong CO word. And you hear Colonel Mosub, if you, or God, I'm a mess today. Oh, congrats on your promotion. Commissar Mosub, if you can hear me, I'm going to need some help finding your location, but reinforcements are en route. And there is a very loud rumbling heading your way quickly. There is... That's not a person, so which one is that? That is the Fleetians. And this guy is going to... He's going to swap to his flamer, and he is just going to be torching orcs in that cone-ish. It's a little bit longer than that, but not enough for me to worry about. And I will figure those out in a second. I'm trying not to hold this up too much. That would then bring us to Valdric, who is not here. That's one of my extra rolls. It's not a person. Arcan.
I'm lining up the war boss.
All right, good choice. The war boss is inside of 40 meters. The closest point is actually a little bit closer than that, plus 40 from his size. And then whatever modifiers you have. And I have a lot of orcs to see what they got
Right.
on getting set on fire.
Okay, that's like plus 80.
Sounds right. Uh-huh.
Yep, I do believe that's all 5 hits.
Yep.
And that's pen 2.
Uh-huh. All right. And with most of his armor turned into slag and then a hail of multi-las fire, the war boss does die.
Woohoo!
I gotta see how. Oh, that's not good for all those orcs. That's not good for any of those orcs.
What's a few dead orcs?
This is a few score dead orcs.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, all the orcs that kind of blindly charge into melee and just about killed the commissar have been set on fire and cleaned off of the chimera. Um, where is my initiative list? Okay, DM10. It's one of the big guys. Was he's actually dead. No, it's this one. Or I've just been using the wrong one. So, no, it's that one that's under the war boss. That guy is dead. 14. Was this guy who's going to be crumping some Kriegsmen. And the dodge, he's not going to be crumping Kriegsmen. 16 is a bunch of last guns. And one of these guys is going to try and dodge and okay. Flamer guy who just cooked a bunch of orcs does go down to a shot from these traitor guardsmen. I will have to mark off a bunch of dead orcs soon, TM, but that takes a while. So I'm going to try and get a few more into initiative. 19 is with the rocket launchers. I will eventually find out a good way of adjusting the zoom. Rocket launcher range is 300, so this is the side of short range. And he's going to miss. Rocket just flies over the Chimera. 21 is the Kriegsman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Evan in melee still. Alright. That orc group wouldn't have been able to. And it's because they're still being shot at ineffectively, but let's see, as these two charge up here to this guy, these two are taking the corpse along and they're charging, and the rest are fighting in melee. I'll figure that out later. That's not a person. That is 24. Which one was that? That was this squad. Another flamethrower, multi-laser. What is the range on a flamethrower? Oh, flamer's only 20 meters. All right, so that's going to be more dead orcs soon. Yeah, those two are just going to be basically, oh, first one's dead, but he's basically going to be keeping orcs off with fire to the best of his ability. 6 is another one of the big guys. That is this one who's on fire. And the fire kills him. Who is this group? I should see how far they can actually run. They're getting into melee, but they can't actually attack. Seven is this guy. And this guy is going to, how far is he? Why am I looking over in Discord for the measure tool? This guy is going to use his 30 meters of movement to run here. T7, 16 was that guy who's dead. 22 is the last group from here. And he's going to use his autocannon in point blank. Dodge. The autocannon damage is a lot. 3d10 plus 8 pen 6. And this guy who just ran dies. As the rest of them are going to light up this other dude. He's going to try to dodge. Poorly. Hit. Or and what does the melt-a-gun do? add some to this, and then Meltagun does 210 plus 10, pen 12. And that will take out this dude. $13. 15, 18 is dead. No, that's this dude. She's going to try and crush those Kriegsmen and miss. DM4 is pinned. Why does Discord keep telling me I get notifications? 12, 17 are very dead. And that brings us, no, they're not. Yeah, they are dead. That brings us back to Mew. Most of these orcs are dead. I just haven't gotten around to actually marking them off because it's slow and tedious.
All right.
Yes,
All
they
right.
do.
So the war boss is dead. The
Yes.
mecha armor knobs are dead.
Well, not all of them. Most of them.
All the ones nearby.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Also, who got the war boss?
Arcan, finish them off.
Very cool. Very cool, Arcan. Well, I guess I'll just use the pintle-mounted stubber and fire into the orcs.
All right.
Actually, I'm in the command thing with the stubber. You're in the inside the hall that has the heavy bolter, I think.
I had you out of the back hatch, but no one's in the heavy bolter right now if you want to go
Actually,
up there.
Can I get in there given that I'm in power armor?
It's going to be a very tight squeeze, but you can.
Alright, let's not. Are there a couple of orcs close to the side of the hall?
There are orcs in the process of boarding, yes.
Alright.
5 of them are jumping on the hall.
One of them is getting the Omniscion axe.
Very nice.
Power armor, because that does a ton of shit to me.
I know it gives you an unnatural strength of 2.
Does it help at all with hitting a dude with a power axe?
I don't think for hitting. I know it does for hurting them.
Whatever. I swing the Omniscion axe at an orc.
All right. Are you leaving, or are you just sticking like your upper body out? Actually, you'd basically have to stand on top of the hull.
I'll surf the Chimera. What are the kinds of attacks I can make with an Omniscion axe? It's power field and unbalanced.
Yes. So, I think I only have a melee weapon on the Commissar's profile. Yeah, so you can do a cult shot, standard, charge, or all-out attack to give you a different modifier.
What do those do?
Cult shot lets you target a specific limb. So if something like the Warlord, which has a very flimsy helmet but a very thick breastplate, was your target, you'd be able to make a cult shot on its leg because it's the size of a tank and it's a little bit hard to reach its head. And get into the thinner armor there, but that puts you at a -20. Standard is just a normal attack. Charge requires a 4-meter straight line charge before hitting them. And all out has some penalties to your reaction defenses.
Does all out increase my chance of hitting?
It gives you a plus 30 instead of a plus 10 for standard.
All right, I'm gonna all out attack an orc. Because
Alright.
it just like prevents me from using my reaction, right?
I don't think it prevents you. I think it just puts a penalty on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna all out attack. And it
Alright.
provides a plus 30?
Yes. And the Omniscient Axe is an unwieldy weapon, right?
Unbalanced.
Unbalanced.
I
Cannot be
think
used
there's
to
just a
make
penalty on parrying or something.
Yeah, minus 10 to parry, and you can't make lightning attacks, which you don't have the talent for anyways, as far as I know.
No success.
That is unfortunate. Oh, craftsmanship wouldn't save that one. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I think there's
Ooh,
nothing else I can do. Is there?
Actually, you would technically have a gang up bonus. Do you have a best craftsmanship on a sign axe by chance? Or is it just common craftsmanship?
Just common.
All right. So you are outside in melee. Were you fighting orcs off the front or the side of the hall?
Side.
Sticky here. He's not here right now. All right. Then that's your turn.
E.
Kutgasha, back to you.
Kutgasha will fire.
All right. At who?
Yes.
Just gonna stick this over to the side for now. What did I just do to that?
Who's closest and damage?
Are you looking for big targets or any target?
Well, big targets primarily if there's one closest, and then if smaller targets are closer, then maybe smaller targets.
Just gonna close this. So right now, there are a handful of orcs performing a boarding maneuver on your Chimera.
Okay.
The closest big target is 86 meters. Oh,
I'll
from your
take care of
close.
the ones trying to board. I'll just open up on them at point blank range.
All right, they are in melee with some friendlies. You'll be at a minus 20. The Commissar did get his inspiration, so you get a plus 10 from that. They're in point blank range, so that's another plus 30. Half action aim is another plus 10. Comrade half action volley fire is a plus 5, so you're at a plus 25 to your ballistic skill.
Plus 25 total.
Yes. There's no size bonus because they're only the size of people, roughly. And they're in melee to give a minus 20 penalty. That will
I
still
rolled a
hit.
4.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
A lot. I basically went all the way around my party members.
Go ahead and roll your 3 damage die. Is it? Uh-huh.
Death, death,
All
and
right.
more death.
Yeah, let me see. How many of these guys would be in the line of fire for that? They would also be dead. Go ahead and roll those critical effects just to see how much shrapnel
What's
you
the
turn these
what's
guys into.
what is the roll?
D5 for each damage roll that had a 10. So it would be 2d5 for your 2 damage rolls. All right. 2 and 5 impact to the body. Knocking him prone and very dead. Pulverizes his innards. Stunned, fatigued, and very dead. So that guy explodes. And he's going to pop like a balloon and take out his buddies next to him. And the Pen 6 is supposed to be 6 points of armor. Apparently, for your gun, it also sometimes means Pen 6 orcs. And that just took out a big streak of orcs. As the rest of these guys are still piling in because I am lazy and trying to make things faster. But I just make more work for myself. But that is Gutgash's turn. This guy is dead. Commissar, back to you.
All right. Well, first things first. I pick up the headset for that Vox. You know, we have that big Vox that we have in the Chimera.
Yeah.
And I answer. Is answering the phone call free?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I answer basically saying that we're underground and we're like, what, 30 kilometers or so from the bunker. Bringing the reinforcements down on this transmission.
All right. All right. Anything else you'd like to say? Or
I will then say, also, we killed the war boss.
very nice.
And then I'm gonna use that to be inspiring to everybody. Okay, so everyone gets inspired, and then are there any orcs in melee?
There is one in melee.
Okay. So, just so you know, because hand-wise, I kept the chainsword in my hand, let the bolt guns fall to the bottom of the command compartment, and used that hand to manipulate the phone. And then I'm swinging my chainsword at the orc in melee. I'm going to use my swift attack, half action.
You sure you don't want to stick the very unprotected chainsaw or the explosive soda can launcher next to your ear for a phone call?
It is less effective. And then I chainsword the orc.
All right. Chainswording the orc. Where it was.
So it's a swift attack, so it's +0, additional hit for every 2 degrees of success. Doesn't matter if I miss.
The standard attack, not making a called or charge, does give a +10.
I know. I was going for the swift attack.
That's a separate thing. I know this is labeled wrong. It should be a +10, +0, -10.
Yeah, I know it's a different thing. That's what I was doing, though.
Okay.
Swift attack is +0, but you get additional hits if you succeed. I did not.
And then is that with the getting a bonus from having Muthena
No,
in melee with this
I
guy?
did not know there was a gang up bonus. What's the gang up bonus?
+10 for each person in melee with the guy. So
Okay. So that means it would have been 1 success.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage for that.
So that is 11 pen 2 rending.
That does kill him. The orc boys are not very tough by themselves.
Of course not. They're tiny little orcs.
Weak and feeble, as all guardsmen know from their uplifting primer.
Exactly.
All right. And then is that your action?
Yeah. Have action to inspire, have action to slice up that orc. That's all.
All right. That guy is very dead. That guy's also very dead. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. These guys are... You are just outside of their or their charge distance. So they're going to run at you. And I'm gonna put them on top. So they're not underneath everything. These guys are gonna file in here. That's gonna be their turn. That guy's dead. And let's see. Commissar, out of curiosity, can you give me a quick, what would subterranean navigation be? I'll say navigate surface test.
Okay.
If your perception is better than your intelligence, you can use that instead of the normal bonus or normal.
It's not actually. My
Character.
intelligence is better. But I am not trained in surface navigation.
Ah,
So I believe that's what, a minus 20?
that it is.
And then minus 10 from my fatigue. Yeah, I didn't succeed.
All right. Well, this will be funny. And all right, now scatter roll. What direction is 4? Was this page with scatter like 250 something?
Yes. 255.
All right. From your position. As the loud rumbling gets
Yeah.
much louder, you do recognize it as the engine of a vehicle. As a hellhound that I don't have a picture for, following a Hades breaching drill falls through the ceiling. The drill goes through the floor, definitely not still on its track, and it seems to be immobilized, at least for the moment. The hellhound sort of ricochets off of it. And that falls there. But they do see this big fuck off mess.
Is it a friendly hellhound? Or is this a traitor guard hellhound?
It is painted with the livery of the fleet's vehicles.
Okay. Okay, I'll, in the call about the reinforcements, I'll just accept that it's probably friendly.
All right. But that is their turn getting to the battlefield. Doesn't exist. 23 is more Fleetians. And this guy is going to Where does 20 meters go? From here. All right, this guy's gonna move up here. Torch a bunch more orcs. So that's their flamer guy. And a bunch of orcs are going to take 9 damage, which won't kill them, but it's going to hurt. And they're going to be on fire. There is 23. 30 is not a real person. It's just the voices of the warp in my head. Valdric is not here. Arcan, we're back to you.
Woohoo. Is that other mecha armor mecha knob visible, or
Uh,
isn't the one in the back still?
oh, the one in the back.
Yeah.
Just barely.
No, I'm gonna shoot him.
All right. There's going to be a -10 because like half of him is behind cover, but size gives 2, 3 plus 30,
All right.
and he's at 80 meters range, if that matters for your
He's just over half distance.
unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed. Still, I get a good bit of bonus because he's huge.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Is it Gasha's time?
Not yet. That looks like 5 degrees of success. Valdric, hello.
Oh god, it's the
Psyker
Psyker!
has
Everybody
arrived.
run!
He's gonna focus his mind and make things burn.
Or he'll lose focus and blow everyone the fuck up.
His powers. Give him a good push.
Pew pew.
Or I focus my mind and blow everyone up.
1999.
So many possibilities.
NG crit body. Catch fire. So he is on fire and prone, and I think I saw another effect on that. Toughness test. He's surprisingly good at these. So he's not stunned, but he is on fire and prone.
Excellent.
Is that fire? That's fire now. And prone. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Valdric, since you just missed your initiative, we'll have you go now.
All right. Is the war boss still alive?
The war boss has been killed.
All right. Who's
Push your powers.
the
We're in mop up
who's
mode.
the
Just
who's the next most armored person? And
At
are they
80
within
meters.
30?
Yeah, at 80 meters ish, there is a Mega Knob who is pretty beat up, but he is the closest heavily armored guy.
Is there anybody within 35 meters that is an enemy?
Circle.
Just to be clear.
I'll put this up to 36.
there's a fuck ton of orc boys.
There's a Commissar, natural enemy of the Psyker.
What? That's
Well,
heresy.
He's horrifically wounded too. You could finish him off real easily.
I would
But
remind you, I
there's-
have a crate of crack grenades.
well,
Yeah, you don't even have to hit him. You just have to set one of those off. They'll finish the job for you.
well, this unfortunate, but I'm not going to be able to use my new move at the moment, and will have to send a blast of face fire at that Mechanob guy.
All right, face fire at. It'll be from this square for your closest corner. Face fire to 80 meters.
Am I inspired?
It's the commissar. You're always inspired.
Great. I'd like someone to roll me a D100 less than 81.
It didn't work.
And you're pushing your powers, right?
Fate point, try again.
Are you pushing your powers?
Yes.
All right. 30 will work with 6 degrees of success.
So that's 3 hits.
That would be
With-
3 hits if every second one is a extra hit.
It is.
All right.
And that's flame breath damage.
Flame breath. I believe that's a D10 +2 for every psi rating.
So D10 plus 16 3 times.
D10 plus 16.
Yep. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 2.
All right. And what psychic phenomena do you produce?
A low one.
Allegedly. Psychic phenomena is for you 2D100 and keep the most favorable one
Yep.
or the most fun one. Oh. 85 and 78. Those are both fun.
Those are both perils, aren't they?
Just a teensy bit.
Well, it's a good thing that my little buddy can shoot me to make that not be those numbers.
All right. And how does that work? Specialty psyker. Ultimate sanction. Type passive. Psyker's comrade carefully watches him for any signs he might be losing control of his powers, ready to step in and say anything necessary. As long as his comrade is in cohesion, which he can be inside the chimera, the sanctioned psyker may take 1d5 wounds, ignoring toughness and armor, to reroll any result on psychic phenomena. Which I think with favored by the warp. Lets you reroll both, but I'm going to double check that.
Neat.
Favored by the warp. Oh, whenever a power roll results in psychic phenomena, the character may roll one additional time on that table. It does say whenever. So yeah, also you can
Ultimate
reroll.
sanction.
Yeah, you can reroll both.
Hooray! Even less perils.
Well, maybe. Oh, only 65 and 70. All right.
Still pretty high.
The Furies. The Psyker is assailed by unseen horrors. He's slammed to the ground and suffers 1d5, ignoring armor but not toughness damage. And must test against Fear 2 or 70 Tech Scorn. Which surely there's no more screens to break. Machine Spirits rejects your unnatural waste. All unwarded technology within 5d10 meters malfunctions momentarily. All ranged weapons jam. Most characters with cybernetic implants must pass a routine plus 10 toughness test or suffer 1d5 damage, ignoring toughness and armor. May I point out, Psyker? May I point out, Psyker, that you have cybernetics. And it does not specify
yeah.
that the Psyker himself is not included.
Also, having everyone's gun jam would be pretty bad.
Nah, it's fine. You're in melee anyways.
The plasma gas jams in the
They
barrel.
are?
Plasma weapon detonates.
Plasma weapons, if I remember right, specifically do not jam. They just overheat.
Well, a fear test is willpower, right?
Yeah, but Fear 2 is at a minus 20, I think. Let's see. Where is the index?
Wait, isn't
It's like the-
60? Ah, that. Yeah.
But yes, Fear is based off of willpower.
Also,
Well-
I do have a talent that affects that.
Yeah?
Yeah, hang on. What's the name of that? It is Radiant Presence. Everyone within 20 meters that can see me is inspired and gets plus 10 to all willpower checks to resist fear and intimidation.
Well,
Oh.
I'm feeling braver already.
Yeah,
All right. Fear
That's in
2 is only
addition
a
to my
minus 10.
command inspiration.
Which I already used it to fire blast someone.
Fair enough.
All right. So that would offset the minus 10 from being a Fear 2.
So I think
See.
I'm left at 51.
It would be your willpower rating, yes.
Because it's still a net total of minus 10.
Uh-huh.
Someone roll a 51 or less for me.
I made the attempt.
An effort was made, but I don't think 92 is less than 51. I can double
It's
check the
not.
math, though.
Well, what's fate for anyway, right?
It's for,
Might as
it's
well
for
just
burning to
use it
keep
up.
you alive.
Yep, we definitely don't want some fear in here.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
Hey, Under, I can do you one better and give you a 90. All right. Fear. On a failure, roll on 9-5 shock, page 304, adding +10 for every degree of failure. Page 304. All right, go ahead and give me a D10 plus, that's 250, 60. That's 4 degrees of failure, so a D100 plus 40. I'm sure it'll be fine. Only a 74. All right, 61 to 80. Character is frozen by terror and may take no actions until he snaps out of it. After snapping out of it, the character makes all tests with a 10 penalty for the rest of the encounter. Snapping out of it is a willpower test. It sounds like it's at the start of the turn. All right. Yeah, until you make a willpower test at the start of your turn, you will be unable to take actions. Good luck.
Well, at least I'm safe in the car,
Oh, and it's
right?
also not all bad news. Well, most of it's bad news for you. You did kill this guy, but you're also unable to act in a chimera that is actively being boarded by a small horde of orcs.
You'll be fine. The Emperor.
Yeah, I'm in
protects.
power armor.
Yeah, orcs are famously unable to get to anybody in power armor.
What? Who told you that shit?
I did.
All right.
They'll probably think I've been killed already, since I'm laying on the ground, not moving.
Oh joy, the Psyker is dead. Praise the Omnissiah.
Remember to double tap so the demons don't possess his corpse. Damn. Alright, so that was Faldrick Arcan. DM 14, that is this guy. Is going to try and clobber the Kriegsman. You gotta try and dodge. That's not really gonna hurt him. 16 is dead. No, 16 is. Those guys are in the. I am losing my mind. All right, these guys are going now. Someone has jammed a las gun. And they're basically just trying to chip away some of the Chimera's armor. All right. No, that gets to the Chimera's front armor, strangely enough. And a rocket misses. 19 is engaged in melee. They've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. That's a T, not a 7. It would help if I remembered to tell to roll a dice instead of just hundreds. One of them might hit, and he does not get parried for not enough damage to actually hurt. All right. That is those guys. 21 is the Kriegsman. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4 will hit. See how many dodge or parry. None are dodged or parried. And what is the hunting lance damage? I remember it's 2d10 something. So I'll roll that and add the relevant stuff later. Wow. 11, 16 plus whatever. I will kill this guy. Don't think the 11 kill that other guy though. And this one is going to kill that guy. And then the rest are going to be shooting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And missing. Where is my notes? My notes are horribly unorganized, but they exist, so I'll take what I can get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 of them left. They're going to fire into the crowd of orcs.
I'll be back in just a second.
What is numbers? All right, that doesn't. Oh, that guy has. No, that's just going to kill someone. There's no way he survives. Minimum of 25 damage. DM6 is dead. 2 is dead. 7 is dead. 16 is dead. 2, 7, 16, 22 is these guys, which means another flamethrower or cone. This guy's actually going to have to step up to not catch the Ogren in it. And that's going to be a lot of very toasty orcs unless they make a. They're not going to make it. Might not be as toasty as I thought, but they're going to be on fire. That was 22, 13 dead, 15 dead, 18 dead, 20. No, 18 is not dead. 18 is these guys. And they're going to be shooting into the Kriegsman up here at point blank.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Not a whole lot, though. Only one of these guys dies. Which one was that? 18. 20 is dying. But not. Oh, they're dead. All right. DM4 is pinned. 12, 17 are both. 12's dead. 17 is guardsman. So they're going to be shooting at the other Kriegsman down there. And they're not going to hit anything. All right. Mutheda, back to you. There are a couple orcs left in melee, but most of them are being burnt.
I begin swinging my Omniscion axe. Going all out.
All right.
Any gang up bonuses I should be aware of?
It's close enough. I'll let you take the +10, yeah.
Fucking really? That's it. Oh, wait. Am I also able to use my reaction to fire off my plasma gun, since that's a thing I can do with the weapon implant?
That is the thing that the weapon implant allows you to do. It's not a pistol, so you can't shoot it at the guy in melee with you, but you can shoot it out of the melee.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to go, but that's what I'm going with.
Any bonuses I should be aware of?
Depends on who you're shooting.
I guess a nearby orc that's not in melee. What is nearby?
Let's see.
That, right there, that kid.
This
Yeah,
one,
that guy.
he is dying. I just haven't gotten around to crossing everyone out because it's kind of tedious and slow.
Oh.
Actually, the only guys you would have in range would be these trader guardsmen up here, or the big orc, or these trader guardsmen.
You know,
Actually,
I'll
this-
save the ammo for now.
This
Proceed
fucker
as
did
normal.
shoot at your Chimera with a rocket launcher. He's a pretty good target.
Wait, who?
This fucker with the green dot up here.
Fuck that guy.
I mean, he missed pretty embarrassingly, but he did try. 72 meters.
No dice.
That is unfortunate. All right, Gutkasha, that brings us to you.
In my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay. I shoot.
There is an orc in melee with Mutheda and the Commissar. And then there's a pretty big orc in melee with a Kriegsman. That guy,
big
the big
orc.
one, is further.
I want to shoot the pretty big one.
All right, he's in 60 meters. So that would be a +10 for short range on the autocannon. Commissar Inspiration is another +10. Half aim is or half action aim is a +10. Comrade half action volley fire is a +5. Then his size bonus is, let's see, 1, 2, 3 squares across. So it'd be a +20. So you'd have a +55 shooting this guy.
Got 1 or 2?
That is 3 hits. And this guy did get a crack lance shoved in his gut, so he's probably dead either way. He's very dead. All right. Is that your turn? I will take that as a yes.
Yeah, I am done. If that's all I got, I killed that big guy. That's it.
All right. DM8. Very dead. Everything is dying. 29 never existed. It was just a figment of our imagination. Commissar.
All right. So I do that comp beat, and I order the Hellhound tank over there to start roasting up the orcs.
A vast majority of them are already dead.
Yes, but there are more
Oh.
over there.
All right. On their
Um,
turn, they
then I'll be inspiring. I am, in fact, inspiring. And is there any living orcs in melee with me?
there is one.
I end it. I just make that standard attack with my chainsaw.
All right. A reasonable solution.
Is there any gang up bonus on it?
You'll have a +10 because Mu Theta is also in melee with it.
That is sufficient.
Very nice.
Doing 11 points of rending and 2.
And that will kill it. All right, that orc is dead.
Yeah, and I'm done.
Commissar, DM9 is dead, DM25 is dead. You can take those out of initiative. DM 1, 3, 5, 11, and 26. I'm using 26 as the Hellhound because that gets to be a person now, sort of. Tactical of 20, 40. And what's their... they don't get to go any further than that. And what is the range? All right, they're going to fire their hull-mounted heavy bolter. And they're going to, even with the moving penalties, hit for... I will figure out what the heavy bolter does in a second. DM23 is... well, that's the fleet guys. They were not given orders to charge. Their last standing orders were to stay behind the Chimera, so they'll be keeping watch back there. Valdrick.
All right. What roll do I need to make, and am I inspired? And do I have that bonus against fear?
At the start of your turn is a willpower test. you do have the Commissar's inspiration. You have the Commissar's +10 from his talent. And it is just a flat willpower test
And you can
before.
push your powers and go crazy.
Hmm. All right, you can act normally. You have a -10 for the rest of the encounter, but there's no restrictions on your actions anymore.
All right. I stand back up and base blast. Is there any armored person within 80 meters?
All of the armored guys are dead. It is just
All right.
down to trader guardsmen and a couple squads of orc boys. Most of them are
Then
behind the cave wall, though.
I start blasting from closest to furthest.
All right, closest is at 62 meters, which I think still needs a power push to reach.
I have 80 meters normally.
Ah,
I have upgraded.
very nice. Still gonna push your power slow, right? Nothing bad ever
I think
happens.
I'm gonna take a break on this one.
It'd be really cool though. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna just go. Bye.
So, funny thing, the tens and ones digit matches on 100, so that's considered a double.
Uh-huh. And does anything else happen just for the fact that it's a 100?
Well, it automatically doesn't hit or produce the intended effects, at least. But since it's a double, and I assume you're casting Unfettered, so you can use your actual full Psyker power. Or Psi rating, that's what it is.
Yeah.
What is a 44 in Psychic Phenomena? Spectral Gale. Howling winds erupt around the Psyker, requiring him and everyone within 10 meters to make an easy +30 agility or strength test to avoid being knocked to the ground.
Yeah, that one.
You sure you don't want Perils of the Warp? They're funny.
No.
Fine, beat boring.
How does unnatural strength work with this? Is it just like
Unnatural
plus
strength
10,
adds
one?
it adds degrees of success, but you still need a successful roll for it.
Oh.
All right. Go ahead and give me that 4d10 for the range of this. 25 meters. Oh, I guess it should be from you. That's only the entire of the Fleetians and the squad. So the middle squad gets knocked on their ass. They're also the only full squad still.
I am not rolling good today.
No, you're not. I believe the Commissar was still in the commander's hatch, turned out. Mutheda was on the hull of the Chimera, repelling boarders. and Gutgasha was outside of the Chimera. Could the three of you give me a +30 strength or agility test to avoid being knocked prone?
And
The orders
the
roll.
should I get from power armor just gives me degrees of success? I thought I heard you say.
The unnatural strength gives you degrees of success, yes.
Strength plus what?
+30. You can also use agility if that's higher for you. All right.
Great.
All right, so luckily, Commissar Mosub is already inside of the Chimera, mostly. But you do get knocked down into the commander's turret. You're not exactly standing up out of the hatch while you're prone.
Fair enough.
Theta and Gutgasher managed to hold their feet. Some of the Fleetians hold their feet up. This middle group does get knocked down, but that's fine. They're more of a rear guard anyways. All right. And I believe the Psyker has a second half action if you would like to perform something.
Isn't so? I was knocked prone last turn. I stood up, face blasted, and got knocked prone again.
Standing up, I believe, is a half action.
Yep. So I'm all out of those.
And the universe is really telling you to either push your shit or take a seat. Sometimes both. All right. That is Valdrick's turn. Arcan.
Okie dokie. That rocket launcher guy, he offends me.
You know, he is in 70 meters.
Oh, good, he's in short range too.
Uh-huh.
I think that's 4.
63 would have been 4 degrees. So that's 3. Yeah, it's like the third time someone's been one off from another degree of success.
Curse you. Oh, I think 3 multi-laser hits is gonna be probably enough.
For slightly heavier than average infantry, probably. And did you want to focus fire or
Oh, yeah,
split these
focus
up?
fire.
No.
He offends me.
Very reasonable. That is 77 damage. Let's see, how does math work? That is 6 of his health bars.
Oh, good. Like I said, he offends me.
You know, he's not just dead, he is gone, reduced to atoms.
I made him a good orc.
The rest of his squad is wondering if he was ever even there. Alright. And that's your turn,
Yep, I feel quite smug now, so I'm happy.
naturally. TDM 14 is dead. 16 is pretty sure also dead. What do I Oh, right. I think they got lost in here somewhere. Nope. 16 is these guys. They're going to charge. Yeah, they're going to charge this guy. Uh, 2, 6. Even with the charge bonus, that's not a lot. Let's see if you can dodge one of them. You can. The others are going to do. A damage and impact to the 71 leg. Is 71 is the leg. Impact crits leg. It was a 5. Stunned. Use that. Back. All right. That's that guy. 19 is this far group. Still has their rocket launcher. I need something between those two zoom levels. Actually, since the Hellhound has a side exposed, they're going to shoot at that. That will hit, and the crack missile does some damage. Ranged weapons. No, I want grenades, mortars, and missiles. Crack missiles are 3d10. All right. That's a decent bit of damage to the Hellhound, but it doesn't break through armor. And where do I keep putting my initiative list? Why am I like this? Miss Theta, you are the target of a lot of las gun fire from a bit of a distance. But would you like to dodge, as some of these are hitting? Mu Theta.
All right. Still orcs on the hall?
You are being shot at.
Oh. Okay.
Would you like to dodge?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and roll that.
Nope.
All right, these might hurt. 5, 10, 10, 9, 13, 9, 13.
Is that the damage?
That is the damage. What is the, mostly are body shots if it matters.
I take no damage.
Oh, uh-huh. All right.
Yeah, they have no pen, right?
They do not. They were only overcharged, not overloaded. But
Yeah, I take literally no damage.
Seeing how ineffective that was, that might be changing.
What, the pen?
The overcharge instead of overloaded.
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't follow.
So overcharge adds 1 damage to lasgun weapons. It takes off reliable, does not add unreliable. Overcharge adds 2 damage and 2 pen, but adds the unreliable trait. So there's a chance to actually actually jam your lasgun somehow, despite it being like the most reliable gun in the galaxy. But it actually has a chance to get through power armor.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see. Where was 13, 15, 18? No, it was 16, 19, 21. 21 is Kriegsmen, who are going to continue fighting in melee. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will both kill a dude up here and down here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Move this guy somewhere I can see him a little bit better. And that's going to be one, 2, 3. Now let's take him off this group. Uh, 21, 24. They're staying behind the Chimera. 6 is dead. 2 is pinned. They're going to make 23 won't pass. 7 is dead. 16 is another guardsman squad. They're going to be shooting. All right, 16 is the dead one. 22 is staying behind the Chimera. 13 is this one. Nope, 13 and 15 are big guys. Those are dead. I am just losing my marbles today. Don't mind me. These guys are going to be suppressing. Ineffectively hitting, but these Kriegsmen are suppressed. 18, 20 is this group. 5. He jammed a knife, and not even into a person. And the guy that did stab didn't do any damage with it. DM4 is pinned 12 and 17. 12 is dead, 17 is this group. He's gonna shoot the tech priest. They had one guy who jammed the last gun. And the rest are most of the rest are gonna miss. One
The
guy,
Omnissiah protects.
yeah, only one guy hit for 7 pen 2. So nothing.
Oh no, he took out one of my like tertiary Wi-Fi routers.
Hey, those are important. What if your primary, secondary, and your other 3 tertiary Wi-Fi routers all go down? And that will, I think, bring us back to the top of initiative. Mias Theta.
Are there still orcs on the side of the hall?
No.
Okay.
Closest orcs are 80 meters away and around a bend. Closest hostiles are 70.
Fuck it. You know what? What's it cost to move?
Half action. You can move up to your agility bonus. Since you're in power armor, that makes you a size larger, so it'll be your agility bonus plus 1. Then you can have more options with a full action to move.
Yeah,
Or
I'll
you
just
can-
hang out up here. I'm gonna fire into that crowd of filthy traitors.
Which crowd?
The ones that had the gall to try to use hotshot las guns on me.
Oh no, they weren't hot shot las guns. They were just overcharging their regular las guns.
Okay, the ones who had the gall to overcharge.
Yeah, that would be that group at 70 meters.
I'm gonna burst fire them.
Reasonable.
Full action aim and then weapon implant reaction fire.
All right. So that's plus 20 from the full action aim, plus 10 from the commissar's inspiration. Are you? I keep forgetting. Do you have your servitors volley fire, or are you doing something different with them?
Yeah, they'll volley fire.
So that's another 2 plus 5s. Range on your plasma gun
Actually-
is what, 90?
Or instead of me shooting, ordering them to fire into that group with their heavy bolters. What does that do?
Are you using the Engine Seer Prime ability?
Yeah.
All right. Where is Shield of Humanity? Engine Seer Prime. Architectus, Crimson Exemplar. Engine Seer Prime. Here we go. Machine Lord. The Engine Seer Prime can resume. Once during each of his turns, the Engine Seer Prime may make a challenging +0 tech use test as a half action. If he succeeds, he can have one of his servitors plus an additional one for every degree of success he scores beyond the first, make a half action melee attack or ranged attack action against the target within range. So you use your half action, make a tech use test, and for every degree of success, you can have a servitor make a half action attack, which can include their burst fire to spread some shots around.
Okay. So I'll do that. And then I'll use my mastery feature to simply pass the tech test with the +5. Or not the +5, but the 5 bits of success.
Uh-huh.
And have is it just the 2 servitors, or are there more servitors present?
You have the 2 servitors with the storm bolters.
Indeed. I will have them each burst fire into the... How
can
effective
also-
is one burst fire going to be into that crowd?
For every odd degree of success on a burst fire, you get a an extra attack.
I mean, like with a
Because-
storm bolter hitting a tight group of infantry.
Each hit doesn't have the blast, so it will only hit one person, but a storm bolter is pretty likely to take someone down in 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah,
And-
we'll fire them both into that crowd.
Because the storm bolter has the storm tag, every time you get an extra hit, it is 2 extra hits instead of 1.
Yeah, we'll fire
it
into
also-
that crowd.
It also has a full auto action, or full auto fire, which is a lot of bullets. It's a -10, but every degree of success turns into a extra attack. Because of storm, it becomes every 2. And then also for the Machine Lord, it uses your ballistic skill instead of the servitor's 15.
Okay, so we blast them.
Yes.
All right, so they're both firing because I spent that shit. Just 2 ballistic tests.
2 ballistic tests in standard range, so no modifier from that. Full auto, question mark.
Burst.
Burst is no penalty or bonus. Commissar's inspiration is a +10. They don't have an aim, and they don't have their own comrades to volley fire.
No successes.
That is unfortunate. But you still do have your half action to aim and reaction to fire the plasma gun.
Mm-hmm. That's 40 out of 60.
Uh-huh. That is
The burst fire.
3 degrees of success for 2 hits for burst fire. And because Overload should have burst fire because that's cool.
I wasn't overloading.
Boo. What the hell is my dog eating? Are you shooting at the guy who shot at you, or?
You'll start with that fucker.
All right, that was this fucker off on the wing. And then did you want to split fire or just really fuck up that guy's day?
Split fire. I'm firing into the mass of them.
All right, we'll go with that guy then. Not that it's going to matter because they're all likely to be dead by the end of the round. All right, anything else?
Nay.
I didn't know you're from Krieg.
I said nay. Not 9.
Where else has horses? Especially ones with claws.
It's actually a standard thing the Skitarii have access to. They have straight up mechanical horses. You can build a bunch of like tech cowboys on Mars.
New campaign idea. All right. But I believe that brings us to Gutgasha.
Good gosh. Shoot.
There's only Trader Guardsmen in line of sight from you. If you were to
Right.
move, yes, guardsmen who have left the light of the God Emperor of Mankind and
Oh well,
turned
then
to working with the
they're
30
appropriate
Zimas.
targets. I am going to open up on them.
All right, closest, farthest, smelliest, biggest gun.
Closest. And
Closest.
work my way back.
All right. Go ahead and give me that roll. 64 meters is in short range for your autocannon. Commissar's inspiration is a +10.
Short range is a plus 20,
+10.
plus 10.
Burst fire. Half action aim is a +10. Comrade volley fire. So that's a +35 to your ballistic skill. Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh my dear God.
Bullying one person or splitting fire?
Splitting fire, why not? I shot enough times. Hell, that's multiple successes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your 3 damage dice. Or 3 damage rolls. So each one is 3 dice. That's a lot of damage now that I think about it. Just really screw someone's day over.
I mean, you gave the autocannon to the thing. Its penetration is 6, for the record.
Oh, that guy explodes. That guy explodes and kills his buddy. And that guy explodes as their torsos are replaced with high explosive armor piercing munitions.
Yeah.
All right.
Got gas
Um,
to blow people up.
That is both your half actions for your turn?
Yeah, I am done.
All right, Commissar.
All the orcs in melee are dead, yes?
Very dead, burnt to a crisp.
Okay. Then I should be inspiring.
Most of them have been double or even triple tapped by flamethrowers.
Yeah, well, I guess the fact that I have to pick myself up means I'm not being very inspiring.
I believe in you guys.
Is there an enemy within 30 meters?
It was.
Do you consider the Psyker an enemy?
Not yet.
And the closest is at 66.
Yeah.
Nope, 54. I stand corrected.
Then I'll just reach down, start sheathing the chainsword and grabbing my bolt gun and telling the Krieg pilot to get us closer. There's enemies over that direction.
All right. Because you are the commander of the tank and I didn't roll separate initiative for this guy, I'll have him go on your initiative. How fast do you want him going? All the fast?
No, not all the fast. I'd like him to keep pace with the Hellhound. We'll form an armored wall.
Chugga chugga choo choo.
Yeah.
All
Probably
right.
rotate us a little bit to the right, keeping us parallel with the wall so that we're not exposing our side.
I'm just gonna keep it simple and stick to 45-degree angles, but yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Um,
Your wall is curved. I
You-
demand we follow that curve.
Yeah, effectively you are going to be following the curve of the wall, but just for simplicity of organizing it on the map, I'm going to keep it at 45-degree angles.
Fair enough.
So they will be shooting at your front armor if they poke around.
Right, that's what I want. I want it so all the shots coming in are either hitting our front armor, they're hitting the wall, or they're hitting the Hellhound.
All right. And then from here, yeah, it's still no one in 30 meters. There is a guy at 38 though.
It's fine. I had to
Alright.
pick myself up anyway. That's like half action, I think. So
Yeah, it would be.
it's all good.
Right.
I've got the bolt gun in my hands again.
DM 26. They're going to want to be about there. So they're going to try to haul all the ass.
Are the
And-
Rocketeers dead?
There is a rocket launcher guy left up here.
Okay.
But he did just shoot at the Hellhounds. They're going to have to reload. And then the Hellhound is going to fire its big, mean Xenos Annihilator flamethrower.
Yep.
And these orcs are not going to dodge it. Strangely enough, they're not great at dodging things.
There is a wall of fire. Dodge.
All right. Vehicle class flamethrower. Oh, only a little bit of damage. Let's see. 2d10 plus 15, pen 8. I think that'll do a little bit of damage. And I'm just gonna... There won't be enough left of these guys to... There's not enough left of these guys to identify, much less do anything about. All right, that is the Hellhound. That guy's kind of in there. Throw him in. Hellhound. 23. These guys. No, 23 is these guys. They're gonna get up and start chasing after you. And that corpse is staying there. Valdric. Mr.
All right.
Psycho.
I stand back up again.
Third time's the charm. You should push your powers. More orcs. I forgot
What-
to.
what's left? A bunch of weaklings.
There's like a platoon or two of trader guardsmen left, and a handful of orcs around the bend that you don't have line of sight on from here.
Well, I guess I'll shoot at a group of guardsmen. How far are they?
Closest one is 42. The biggest one starts at 58, and the only one with the rocket launcher left is at 66. Oh, I guess they're technically the biggest.
Well, can't have a rocket launcher targeting us. Let's burn them.
Powers. It'll be funny and cool. All the cool psychers are doing it.
Well, the commissar didn't rescind the
Yeah, the big
push
guy's
your
dead.
powers.
Just rein it in, huh?
Okay. Well, commissar's order. Sorry. Regular
I don't.
old psyker stuff.
I don't know. That guy with the rocket launcher is pretty big.
So I'm not inspired at the moment. Is what I
No,
heard.
no.
Okay. Well, you may not have inspired me, but I'm inspired by you anyway.
That's 5 degrees of success for 3 attacks.
3 hits. Yep. And we got flame breath. 1d10 plus 2 plus 8.
And are you focusing fire or spreading it out a bit?
Is there anybody within 2 meters of him?
He's got his entire squad. These guys are all, each square is 2
Alright,
meters.
I will spread it out.
All right. 3 attacks on 3 guys or 2 and 1?
3 on 3. And they all need to make, if they survive, saving throws against being lit on fire.
They're all on fire. That's just a flat agility, right?
Probably.
All right. I will look into that. Well, what do you want to do for the rest of your turn? Because I believe that's only a half action.
I stood up
Right. All right. So that's your
And I-
turn.
didn't get knocked back down. So this is progress.
I'll get you one of these days. All right. If that is your turn, I believe that brings us to Arcan.
Woohoo. I think I'm just gonna continue to target the group of orcs that you're pointing at right there.
That's not orcs. That's trader guardsmen right there.
Trigger. Well, they're orcs now. They're all gonna die. How far away are they? 68?
It's like 64 from you, I think.
Well, that means that they're in half range.
Mm-hmm. That right there, that's gonna be some pain. That's gonna hurt them right there.
I'm gonna put I'm gonna see how many shots we got. Oh damn.
That right there, that's not gonna be too many hurts.
No, not.
Uh,
How many hurts is that? 2 or 1?
That's 2 hurts right there.
2 hurts.
Are you putting these both on the
up.
same guy?
Yep, 1 and 1.
Closest, farthest, biggest, smelliest?
Smelliest. The nose. Oh, I'm a little dim. There. Oh, there we go. One guy turned it there. Damn.
That's gonna hurt him right there. AG crits body. Scorching his body with horrible 3rd-degree burns and inflicting fatigue. That's gonna make him real smelly. You just made the smelly guy smellier.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to shoot him again right there.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, did the one guy explode?
Yeah, you melted these two.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Well, that's just the end of their turn.
That's a bunch of dead people right there. All right. After Arcan is DM 16, which is currently engaged in melee. This guy's got to step up. As these guys are ineffectively stabbing with their bayonets at the Kriegsman. 1619 was... Which one? Just gonna make it the other one in melee with the Kriegsman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 still alive. And that guy, same pact. 19 is to the arm. One, causing him to drop his sword. That was the second hit. That'd be this guy who was already prone. That guy's not having a good day. Using the wrench, I guess. Where is 21 is Krieg. 1, 2, 3 in melee here. That is 1, 2. Yeah, just 2 very dead. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is more dead guys. These guys die. More dead. More dead. Whole lot of minimum damage. And that's 1 more dead. All right. Then that guy, DM 24. 4. These guys are going to try and keep up and reform their squad. 4, 5. DM2 is dead. 22. That guy's dead. These guys are going to try and catch up. These guys are going to hang out here. Wait for their squad. 18 is mostly dead. These guys. Actually, how far are they? They're gonna charge the Chimera or the Hellhound and try and perform a boarding action, but they don't have a turn to do that right now. 20 is dead. DM4 is dead. 17 is dead. That brings us back to Museta.
All
Mr.
right.
Gil-
All right. So we're fire into the crowd of heretics.
Small crowd, big
Yeah,
crowd,
close one.
close. At 40 meters. No, 45. Then I'm gonna actually mark these guys as, well, they should be marked, but not showing up for whatever reason.
Full action, aim, burst fire.
You're not gonna machine lord?
Yeah, fuck it, we'll machine lord.
Guys are in short range of the storm bolters.
One success.
All right. Let's see. That is at least 3 degrees of success if you get a 2 on the 50 for the burst fire rate of 2. Because it's a storm weapon, that extra shot is a third shot. So go ahead and roll 3 of what is it, like a D5 pen or D10 plus 5 pen 4 or something like that. Yeah, Stormbolter. Single, burst 2, full auto 4, D10 plus 5 explosive, pen 4. And it also has the tearing property, so each one is 2d10, keep higher 1.
So 13, 14, 14.
13, 14, 14. Ba-ba-ba. Pew. 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 And then you want a plasma gun for your other?
Yeah, burst fire.
That's a hit.
Plus 7.
So 16, 17, and
One of them is a
Ooh.
10, so I believe I roll again.
You would roll a d5 for the energy critical effect.
Oh, one.
One energy crit body. Oh, here. A blow to the target steals the air from his lungs. Unfortunately for that guy, you're apparently playing a Blood Raven's Engine Seer Prime, and you stole his lungs along with it.
I stole the air from his lungs along with, his rib cage and everything behind it.
Stole the air from his lungs, except his torso was in the way, so you stole that with it. As the frag grenade that guy was going to try and throw into the commander's hatch of the Hellhound rolls to the ground and explodes in the slag of his melted corpse. Yeah, funny thing about the Hellhound, they kind of took out the the passenger compartment to make room for super flamethrower fuel. A grenade going off inside of that would not be fun for the people inside, unless they're orcs.
Or frankly, outside.
Outside's fine. It would have to
I
get
have
to
a
the
feeling
market
that
place.
blast would wipe out most of our outriders.
Nah, they're fine. Only getting peppered by a little bit of shrapnel.
Also, given where the back of that's located, the easiest direction the fire would go would be up and back at my face.
Yeah, but you're like at least 3 steps away. You'd be fine at 40 meters. It'd probably still be hot, but that is only like 150 feet, give or take.
So, how many of those traders are left?
Squad that was in melee has been destroyed. That squad was 2 squads that have taken casualties. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Gut Gasha.
Good gosh, yeah. He's gonna shoot.
Are you staying back where you were?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay back where I was. How many guys can I see from where I was?
There's like 15 guys left. This bomb squad is partially obscured by the Chimera, but you're tall enough to shoot over it.
Okay.
This other squad is out in the open. They got basically no cover.
Right, okay. So I'm gonna start shooting, I suppose.
Reasonable.
Distance.
84 meters to the closest guy out in the open, or 76 to the closest guy concealed by the Chimera.
Just tell me how much bonuses I have.
They're both in short range, so either would be a +10. The guy at 84 will not be getting cover, so he'd be easier to hit. So it'd be a +10 from short range. Commissar did not give the inspiration this round because of rolls. +10 from half action aim, +5 from volley fire. So you have a +25.
+25, okay. I miss.
You can spend a fate point to reroll that if you'd like.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just take it as it is.
All right. So that is your 2 half actions. Commissar.
All right. Well, first I'll be my inspiring self.
Do you still want the Kriegsman keeping pace with the Hellhound?
Hold up. First, before I issue those orders, I'll be my inspiring self. Okay, so I am inspiring. Is there a rocket guy still alive?
Yes, but he is badly wounded and on fire.
Is there any? Is he the only one over there that's still alive?
No, he's got 2 other guys who are also badly wounded on fire,
All
and
right.
then 5 who are fine.
All right. I
Ish.
tell our pilot we need to protect the Hellhound. Charge right at the rocket guy. Full speed.
All right. Full speed. He's able to get the 40 meters plus another 5 from degrees of success. Get you there and pointed towards them.
Yes.
All right.
And then I've got my bolt gun. I'm gonna light that rocket guy the fuck up.
So he's at 20 meters, which I think is only short range.
Yeah, it's a range of 100. So
And then it would be it's supposed to be a -20 for going more than double tactical speed, but I don't care that much about it. Because I've forgotten every time up until now. And then any other modifiers you have.
well, I'm doing single shot because I still have that fatigue modifier.
Okay. That's your half actions in the vehicle's movement.
Mhm.
DM 26. Ba, ba, ba. Let's see. How big is a 50-meter cone? Yeah, they're gonna swing there. Actually, they're gonna move up here, so they're not catching this Kriegsman. And then they're just going to swing their volcano gun. That's not right. What is it? Their big fuck off flamethrower. Inferno, not volcano. So let's see if those 2 squads can dodge. The close one does dodge, but I don't think those other guys are going to survive. They're not going to survive, and those guys are incinerated in horrific fashion. But because that's a 9 on the die of a spray weapon, the Inferno Cannon does jam. All right, that is them. Then the hull bolter is going to be suppressing this other group. That is going to hit. They're not going to be having a good day, and that is five of them dead. Gonna go the closest 5, actually front 5. I give up. Roll 20's not working with me. Those guys die. All right. That is Hellhound, which brings us to DM23, who is going to be trying to catch up, and then Baldric.
All right. I guess I just start fire blasting.
That you can do.
Anyone threatening still, like rockets or stuff?
The last guy with the rocket launcher has just been melted by the vehicle-sized flamethrower, along with his entire squad. There are just people with las guns and presumably grenades.
Well, then I just start blasting fire into my face at the nearest group.
All right.
I am inspired this time.
You sure you don't want to push that? It'll be funny.
No, regular old powers for regular old people. Next time we encounter a big brute, I'll make sure to push it.
Oh, look, the war boss resurrects from the dead.
Oh no, the pain boy got to him because the pain boy's painted purple and nobody saw him. And now the war boss has his head unmelted again.
And also, his armor is bigger and cooler now that it's covered in the scrap of all his dead orcs.
And the orcs.
Well, then I guess I gotta fire my molten beam.
Hits the hellhound.
Alright, so how many dudes are you annihilating with this?
Um,
That's 5 degrees of success for 3 annihilation.
yes.
Alright, and what's the damage? And are you splitting it or focusing it?
That's
You don't
the second time I
you
rolled same numbers.
you don't have to pick the same number for all these damage dice. You're paying for a D10, you can use the whole D10. But
No, nines are pretty good.
Are they dead?
3 of them died. There's a dude left.
Oh, I guess I could shoot one.
You should push your long last.
Single shot and help is plus. So single shot is 10, helps 5. Red dot laser sight is 10. Minus 10. So plus 15.
Uh, what's the fatigue for minus 10? And then I think you also have
breaking out.
Commissar inspiration.
Yes.
I was
Oh, but-
inspired by face fire.
Right, I forgot.
And I also have that minus 10 for the fear effect.
That's what it was.
I broke out for the rest of the encounter.
Mm-hmm. All right, send it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I miss.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Hip firing a long lads, even with a red dot laser sight, is not very super accurate.
Strangely enough, it is not. I believe that brings us to Arcan. Mr. Sant,
Yes.
it is your turn.
Ah, excellent.
There's a
Ah.
traitor guardsman, 14 meters to your,
Front.
what is left, starboard.
Yeah. Does he have? What does he have?
Got a las gun and a couple grenades.
Meh. How about
I
those?
don't know, las guns can be pretty scary. Have you ever walked through a field of 1,000 of them?
No, because I'm in a tank. What are those big guys down by the dead mega knobs?
These guys?
Yeah.
That's your Krieg cavalry.
Okay, so those good guys. Yep. Don't shoot those.
And
We'll get rid of those.
there's
We'll get rid of those traitor guardsmen. They still offend me.
this traitor guardsman. He is the last one.
Oh, he gonna die.
Yeah, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. It's gonna be bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go on and roll. Hmm.
Not so good.
He is in point blank range. He's inside of 10% of your range.
Oh, well then. Oh, okay, so that's
So
3. Well, that's another 10 because I thought it was only short.
that's another 20.
Oh,
It goes from a plus 10 to a plus 30.
oh hell yeah.
So that's 4 degrees of success.
4. Mm-hmm.
He is going to try to dodge.
Okay.
He dodged one of them. He didn't roll a 1, so he didn't dodge everything.
So you're gonna get 3 of them. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get 3.
Oh, he got 3.
No. Oh. Oh, he's
I
very
think he's
dead.
dust. Oh yeah.
What's it? Energy impact. Energy, body, 2. Again, you have still his entire torso and the rest of him as he evaporates.
The fate of
But
all
you have,
heretics.
you have stolen the air from his lungs.
Excellent.
All right. And with that, the orcs are little enough of a threat that the Kriegsmen and the Hellhound are able to mop it up. And for the moment, we are out of initiative.
Loot the bodies. Oh wait, no. Sorry, we're Imperium, not orcs.
Right.
Orcs, the murder hobos of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I see, I'm just going to delete these.
See, the Emperor had a good idea, but the issue was he made too many NPCs in his backstory that the DMs could use against him.
How many people even survive this? After the last of the orcs are wiped out, the Kriegsmen and the Fleetians are going to be collecting any important war gear off their dead, along with IDs and all that.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in all, pretty light casualties.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
You lost half of 2 squads of the Fleetians and only a fire team of the Kriegsmen.
Have we
Which
killed how many orcs and traders?
A lot.
the ground is carpeted with them in one section.
That's not a crowd anymore. That is an obstruction of paths.
Excellent. We had a good game of Dawn of War here. Where we jumped the opponent with the right upgrades and the right tactics, and we just cleaned out their clock.
Yeah, I think it was like 300 orcs and 50 guardsmen, and then 5 meganobs, 5 flashgits, and a war boss. Oh, and Gilbert, you mentioned that the war boss's armor was. I'm pretty sure you were joking, but you mentioned that it was like a Bane blade or a Titan foot or something.
Yeah, it was made out of welding pieces, like from the joints of a Titan's foot and a Bane blade's armor.
So, in Dark Crusade, there is an armor keyword called ablative, which gives you heavier armor, but every time you take damage, it is reduced by 1. And I did actually just take the armor value of a Bane blade, stick the ablative property slightly modified onto it. So every time you got close to reducing or close to getting through its armor, it would get reduced by 1. Which is why it took so many hits, because it took a while to start getting through a decent chunk of his armor.
That makes sense.
Oh, Mu Theta. Can you fix
Yes,
my
Commissar.
Can you fix my refractor field belt? It overloaded in the fighting.
Mu Theta will hold out a Mechadendrite.
Yeah, I hand it over.
Yeah, and, given that it's you and SV is still technically in the Chimera and everyone is trained in tech use, you're able to quickly get it sorted out. It is just a circuit, well, I guess a fuse, not a circuit. The Imperium would use fuses still. A fuse popped, and it is simple to find a sufficiently strong fuse to replace it with
I have a
relative
question.
safety.
Is this something that could be covered by technical knock?
No.
Damn.
That is for clearing jammed weapons. This is slightly more intricate than a bullet didn't load right.
Yeah, I mean the book says that it's a very hard tech use test.
Very hard is what, like a -20? So
30
Gilbert's looking
minus
for
30.
it. Oh. Tell you what,
There's
actually.
there's actually a genuine chance of failure on that.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that tech use roll.
I would be inspiring about it though. Wait.
All right. So it looks like that would reduce me down pretty low and then add me back up to my int.
And you are able to get help with this because everyone's trained with tech use.
Yep, I already accounted for that. Praise the Omnissiah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is pretty delicate work, so you're not rushing it, but it'll only take like a couple minutes to get it in functioning order again.
we'll add another 20 onto that as I have to perform the rituals both at the start and the end of the operation.
Obviously.
You can't just pop it open. You have to say the right binaric prayers before you pop it open.
Naturally. You also need servitors, serfs, assistants, menials.
Yeah, someone's got to swing that incense. I'm just picturing jump starting a car's battery now. Before you can open up the hood, you basically need to, chant the prayer to the car and ask its consent to open up the hood.
Yeah, it's come on, where is it? Where the hell is that lever? Where's the switch? As you're reaching between the hood and the grill. And that is the prayer of opening the fucking hood. Commissar, as the tech priest is finagling, as tech priests do. The hellhound rolls up next to you. And Colonel Voss steps out of the commander's hatch.
Yeah.
And she is going to walk over, fish around in her coat pocket, say, Commissar, do you have a moment?
Of course, Colonel. What can I do for you?
Well, I was planning on giving you the news in a more civilized setting, but congratulations on your promotion, especially given what's going on here. And she will give you a butter bar and say, well, congratulations, Lieutenant Commissar. As far as I'm concerned, you've earned it. I've got a little bit of paperwork to finalize everything when we get back to the fleet, but consider these men under your control.
Oh. This is a great honor. Thank you.
Of course. And when we do get back to the fleet, we'll have a whole fanfare and all that. But as far as field promotions go, this one's a bit quick and not very nice, unfortunately. However, we're not actively being shot at, so it's not the worst one I've had.
Promotions atop the rotting corpses of the enemies of the Imperium. Well, I mean, it might not be nice, but it is certainly appropriate.
Very true, Commissar. And then under, when you have your successful inspiration test, you will also get the effects of the sergeant's Get Them order. So basically, anybody who has their comrade in cohesion volley firing for the +5 will have a +4 to their damage roll.
Oh, very nice.
I would like to stay and have a longer chat, but unfortunately, there is a bit of an ongoing siege that needs tending to. Does your... Oh, wait. She checks her data slate. Your squad doesn't have a medic, does it?
No, we've been getting on as I bought the beat up, multiple times used. Probably still got blood smeared on the outside of it, advanced med kit. We've been using this.
All right, well, if your troops need some patching up, I'll have my medic assist, but I'm afraid I don't think I can in good conscience order you into the siege immediately. Tend to your men. The fight will still be there when you're recovered a bit.
Well, thank you, Colonel. A chance to patch our wounds is appreciated.
Of course.
Do I get to do surgery on Gut Gasha?
Gagasha and the Commissar might
yeah,
need
the
it.
Commissar
Yeah.
is like badly beat up. He's bloodied. He's got like gashes all over. He's probably got like a sprained or dislocated, limb. But the hat is pristine.
The hat is perfect.
Muthade is going to begin looming as he like pulls out a chunk of gauze tape like it's a garrote wire.
Just triple extra thick garrote wire. Well, Commissar, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you on the battlefield, but I must be taking my leave. The Emperor protects. Best of luck to you and your men.
The Emperor protects. Good hunting.
All right, and with that, the Colonel will climb back into the Hellhound. Gilbert, if you're doing first aid, the Hellhound does have a medic for their hall gunner who will help with that.
Yeah, and we do get plus 20 from our medkit.
Yes.
All right. Let me take a look-see here. So, as I go to patch up the Commissar, it looks like that's a plus 10 for my skill, plus 20 from the medkit, plus 10 from the other guy. So
Plus 10 for my inspiration.
I need to roll below 105.
I think there are some penalties to having critical damage, which
All right.
I think.
I've got all my bonuses noted, so what am I taking off of this? We're at the high water mark.
All right, skills. Skill tests. Where is Medicaid? Medicaid intelligence. First aid. Minus 10 penalty if the patient is heavily damaged, or minus 10 penalty for every point of critical damage.
A point of critical damage is just a point above my total.
It's every time you were wounded beyond 0. So I think you're at like 3.
Yeah. I didn't keep track of that, but it's about 3.
Okay, we'll call it 3 then. Might be 1 off, but it'll be 1 off either way. Yeah, you've got a minus 30 from your, was it 105 or something?
75. I do believe that is a success on patching up my my Commissar.
All right, and it's 1 plus intelligence bonus plus degrees of success, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Oh,
intelligence
here it is.
bonus plus 1 per degree of success.
Okay. Yeah, so you are at, what was that, 5 intelligence bonus, Gilbert?
Yes.
You remove 6 of your, like, 25
23.
wounds.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Commissar, the fact that you live is a miracle of the Omnissiah.
I just look at him and say, the Emperor protects.
You have 37 fractures.
And 28 stab wounds from bullets.
17 pieces of shrapnel have lodged themselves in your body. Is this a bad time to tell you that the flesh is weak? You should let us replace it with steel.
But the steel would have broke. My flesh didn't. You said it yourself.
Just by mere grumbling.
You say the flesh is weak, but I was standing there with almost double my wound total. As
All right, I believe I now need to go patch up Gut Gasha, whose guts have been pretty gashed.
Oh, his guts have been pretty gashed, but I think he's only at like 1 critical damage.
I don't have any critical damage.
How many of your wounds have you gone through?
All of them. I am at 0 wound.
But you didn't get.
But I didn't get hit after I got the 0 though.
Okay. So you are only heavily damaged for a
Yes, I have a
minus
lot
10.
of fucking chest wounds and bleeding out. My inside my power armor is filled with blood.
The outside is the nice, like, urban camo of the regiment, and
Yeah,
the inside
straight
is
up
just
red.
red.
It's just red.
Yeah, Gilbert, first aid on the Ogren will be at a minus 10 for heavily damaged.
Well, with all the same bonuses taken into account, that's a 95.
Just tell me if Gut Gasha can move again.
I think that's 10 wounds. 5 degrees of success plus your bonus of 5.
Repeat, please.
I think that's 10 wounds, 5 degrees of success, and an int bonus of 5.
That does sound right.
All right.
Oh, let's see. So, how long until the commissar is, going to be fully combat ready again?
Well, if that was, you're going to be healing 6 a day.
You're basically going to need extended care.
Yeah, it's going to be several days. However, that's to get me to full. I am combat ready now.
Bullshit. But at this point now, I'm picturing the fucking commissar standing on the Warpaw's corpse, receiving his medal that, the other guy leaves, the commissar just kind of falls over. Trying to pull that Caiaphas Cain shit through all of his crippling injuries.
I didn't know the commissar multi-classed into zealot.
Oh.
All right. Is there anything you would like to do further beyond patching up the commissar and Ogren?
Is there anything else that needs to be patched up?
How's our Chimera look?
Chimera took a couple hits. I think one of the rockets did some damage to the front armor, but it's still holding.
I mean,
no one else here got hit, right?
I don't think so. Most of us were inside the tank. It was pretty much me and Gut Gasha that were really hanging out in front and on top.
Yes.
So I got the ultimate sanction and psycho effect. Did we
that's
ever
right,
roll those D5s?
Yeah, I did. You took like 6 damage. The total 5 from the sanction or 3 from the sanction and 3 from the fear thing that knocked you to the ground.
All right. The sanction goes through toughness, but the fear thing only does not go through toughness, only armor.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have 3 wounds. I just like lift up my shirt, show like a pistol burn.
Mutated will pull out the band-aid and the blessed Neosporin. Take care of that and tell you to walk it off.
No, we can't
What-
use Neosporin. It's the 41st millennium. It's Neosporin.
Well,
So, what? That's less than 105 because of the light injury.
Lightly injured is a +0.
Golly, do I pass?
Yeah, I think that might heal the 3 wounds.
Thanks, Doc.
so I'm thinking we get out of here and head back to that base we found with the other fleet regiment that was there, and spend the night, get ourselves patched up, refuel, rearm, and then in the morning we go join the colonel at breaking the siege.
Set you here?
As everyone's patched up, the colonel's hellhound does turn around and start chugging along. Takes a minute to churn through all the bodies, but they do. They do head back to where the Hades breaching Giro has unwedged itself from the ground and started to dig a tunnel again and follows the breaching drill.
It's heading to the surface?
It is going down through the hole that it was stuck in because it fell through the ceiling, but it is presumably, from the sounds of it, heading back up after that. It's just pulling a U-turn.
Right. Well, that's probably the easiest way out to the surface then. There's really no need for us to be down in the tunnels now that we got the war boss.
And what's really good is the orcs will be fighting each other now as well. They have to figure out who's the biggest, baddest boss.
Well,
Starting to
there's
call-
a simple answer to that, which leads to another complicated answer. The simple answer is the commissar was in charge of the guy who killed the war boss, so the guy who almost killed the commissar is the biggest, baddest. But he died almost immediately after. So now they have to find out who's the second biggest, baddest.
Indeed, they can feel it in the Wa field.
Mhm.
Wow.
We're gonna have to look for an
Wow.
orc with a really nice hat. Kill that guy, because that'll be the new war boss.
Unless some Gretchen is going to become the new war boss.
Ah, the Grot boss.
Mm-hmm.
Those fools never even saw it coming. War boss Squigosaurus Rex.
Squigzilla.
No, that's his second in command. Don't be silly. Squigzilla would never go for a leadership position like that.
Unless there's something else like somebody brings up that we should be doing, I think that's where we go.
All right. And as you bring the Chimera around, running over a couple orc corpses just for good measure, the remains of the fleet's reinforcements tagging along.
Mhm.
It is getting late. Are you guys good with calling it here for the night?
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right.